What's up, everyone? Ben with the BTC Sessions here, and this is your daily session.
Hodl that Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, a couple quick things. One, check out my website, btcsessions.ca. This is where you can reach out to me personally and book your own BTC session. I do things like help people set up desktop and mobile wallets, set up their Trezors or Ledgers or other hardware wallets, or just general knowledge sessions, learning about how Bitcoin and how Bitcoin works. All you need to do here is scroll to the bottom, and there's a contact form for you there. Secondly, shout out to sponsors of the show, Ledn.io. This is where you can use your Bitcoin as collateral to get a Canadian dollar or US dollar loan. Super easy. There's a slider here, so if you want a specific amount of money, you just slide to check out how much Bitcoin is required to be deposited. There's an application that takes a couple minutes to fill out. There's no credit check necessary, and if you're successful, your bank account is typically funded within 24 hours. I've done it myself. It worked like a charm, and they've got a deal where if you use the link I've provided below and you're successful in obtaining a loan, well, you will get an additional $50 worth of Bitcoin allocated to your account. So be sure to check them out if you'd like to help out the show. And with that, let's jump into the news. So we're going to take a look at Bitcoin price here. Yesterday, we did see some interesting price action. I'm just double checking what the price is at now because it's been kind of up and down this morning here. It looks like we're around 79.60 on Bitstamp, 79.54 on Bitfinex. We were up above 8,000 earlier. So what's going on here, and what are some of the possibilities? Well, we're still in this kind of downward channel, although we did break out of it a little bit, and we're kind of, these are Fibonacci lines here. If you're not super familiar with trading, no big deal. Basically, just know that we're in a downward channel here, and until we break out of this, we're not looking to see anything spectacular happening. It looks like we could still be moving downward further for a couple reasons. One of which is decreased volume. So buying volume is down. The other thing is we've got a couple things looking. So in the 4-hour chart here, we kind of have we have lower highs and we have higher lows. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth and meeting these resistance on either side. So there's a possibility we could pop to the bottom of this, which would take us to looks like the 7,400 range, depending on when it hits there. There's a few levels that they point out. They also point out that we're taking a look at this bullish pendant, and so that means that essentially it's characterized by higher lows, but just flat resistance at the top. So what that typically means is there's really heavy resistance up top, but every time it meets that resistance and bounces back down, the buyers are getting stronger and stronger and the sellers are getting weaker and weaker. Now this is on the 1-day chart, so that is a bullish indicator. However, we do have lower volumes. We do have other indicators that are indicating bearish sentiment. So in the short term, we could be seeing something like 7,500, 7,600. If we pop out of this, we kind of need to be monitoring that 8,200 or that 8,350 range that we just haven't been seeming to be able to pop past. They're saying here that the next major resistance is likely to be around $9,000 if we are able to break out of this kind of range that we're in right now. So I guess we'll see what happens, but hey, long term, I'm bullish, so why not? Now, on somebody who's definitely not bullish here, this is from the New York Post, and I think this is possibly the worst backed up article I've ever read. It sounds like it's written by an angry 5th grader, and it is literally 89 words. So let's take a look. I'm just going to read the whole thing because it's hilarious. I can't believe this passed for journalism. So the article written by John Crudell is called "Bitcoin Will Soon Be Worth Zero." Wonderful. This is it. That's the whole thing. So he says, I wrote my last column that Bitcoin is really a Bitcon. I see what you did there. I've been telling you since the price of this investment collapsed from around 20,000 to 4,000 last year. Mario Draghi, head of the European Central Bank, echoed a similar view last week, but didn't do it quite as colorfully. Last Thursday night, Bitcoin crashed by about $1,000 to around $7,000. Bitcoin will soon be worth zero. But until then, criminals will still be able to use it and other digital currency to move money around the world without being caught. And that's it. That's the whole article. So a couple things here. So he's been saying that since it was 20 grand, that it was a Bitcoin. Okay, funny pun. And okay, well, it dropped to 4,000. Well, it's coming back. Also, if you look at the history of booms and busts through Bitcoin, it's done this like 5 or 6 times. It's insane. Like the 1,300 boom or $1,200 boom, all the way back down to at one point $150 before coming back for its massive bull run to 20K. So, what else? He said the last Thursday night, Bitcoin crashed by about $1,000. It was actually $1,700, so even worse than he's making it out, to around $7,000. Well, I mean, since he wrote this, it has gone back above 8. So, I mean, he doesn't really have much of a point there. It's volatile. Yes. I mean, just because it went down does not mean it will never in turn go up. Bitcoin will soon be worth zero. Great evidence to back that up. But until then, criminals will still be able to use it and other digital currency to move money around the world without being caught. Now, this is a funny point in that he clearly doesn't understand how Bitcoin works, because it's an open ledger. Anybody can use it, and anybody can look at it and see the history of transactions. And Bitcoin is probably one of the worst suited currencies currently to be used for crime. Not so much that it can be censored or stopped, but more so that it's a permanent record, a permanent public record. So if you accidentally link your criminal behavior to something on the Bitcoin blockchain, and that's linked to your name, that's there forever. So move money around the world without being caught. You can absolutely be caught. It's not obfuscated in any way, shape, or form unless you go to extra steps to do so, and that's still not super easy, and most criminals are dumb enough not to be doing that in the first place. So yeah, anyways, hilarious. This is a journalism. Let's move on. So this is an article from Bitcoinist talking about people flocking to Bitcoin exchanges again, based on new data. And a big portion of this is that a number of exchanges are re-entering some of the top viewed websites in the world. So Binance has re-entered the top 1,000 sites on the planet. It's actually up to number 913 at the time of this article. And so it hasn't been kind of at this level, at this amount of traffic since it fell since Bitcoin fell from 6,500 to around 3,100 starting in November of 2018. So it's been about 6 months since Binance has been this well visited, and it wasn't just Binance. Coinbase, Bittrex, those two. Coinbase is back up to around 1258. Bittrex is just under 3,000. You have Bitfinex, even Bitfinex, which is experiencing drama with Tether and everything like that. They're still within the top 5,000 sites. Not only that, but you see money pouring into the exchanges, not just from clients, but in the form of investment. You have people like Kraken securing funding rounds now. And actually, you also see the new trend, which kind of seems like it's going to be the next ICO craze, is the Ieo Craze, which is initial exchange offering, where exchanges issue their own trading token, and it's meant to be like a utility token, kind of like Binance Coin, because of the ridiculous success of that coin over the last little while, and the amount that it's gone up. It's actually one of the few coins that has actually hit new all-time highs against Bitcoin during the bear market. new all-time highs, I should say, against Bitcoin and in terms of dollars. And part of that is because of how many people are using Binance to trade. There you can take profits if you're using the Binance coin as a trading tool, as a base pair, then it cuts your fees down. So they're kind of manufacturing this demand for their token and in turn pumping the price. But it's kind of a double-edged sword, because if something goes wrong, like the Binance hack, then that coin takes a dip. And the interesting part of that is that their kind of insurance fund that they've saved up to bail themselves out of hacks is held in their own token, so in BNB. So this insurance fund, if they get an exchange hack and it's big enough and the value of their token goes down because of the hack and the lack of faith in their platform, well, all of a sudden that insurance fund shrinks and may not be able to cover losses if it was a big enough hack. Now, in the case of the last one, it wasn't an issue because it had already skyrocketed so much that even a major hit wasn't a big deal, and it's clearly back up to new all-time highs now. Now, am I big into BNB? No, I'm more interested in Bitcoin itself. I think given the trend right now and seeing more IEOs pop up, I think that's going to be the next regulatory thing where they go after, because it's basically an ICO. It is an ICO. It's a coin. It's an initial coin offering. It just happens to be it has some utility on the specific platform on which it was issued. So I don't know. But hey, it could be another source of kind of new pumps. But as I outlined with the Binance case, I think issues will arise with these, and some people will do it will execute more poorly than others. But I guess we'll see. Anyways, today is a big day. It's Bitcoin Pizza Day. And if you're new, you might not know what that is. But essentially, back 9 years ago today, a man executed the first real-world Bitcoin for goods and services exchange. And what did he do? Well, he bought 2 Papa John's pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. He actually was just recently interviewed on 60 Minutes by Anderson Cooper as part of their short piece on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So he kind of forged the way. As expensive as that pizza was, kudos to him for making it possible to get to where we were, because it takes moments like this to have price discovery, to have people start to value a coin and figure out what its price should be. So just a fun little article here's 8 things you could buy today with 10,000 Bitcoin. And I thought this list was great. So let's see. You could buy this island in the Bahamas for 9,375 Bitcoin. You could buy this Airbus, this plane, for 10,000 Bitcoin. You could buy this 8-bedroom, 15,722 square foot lakefront condo in Crystal Bay, Nevada for 9,375 Bitcoin. You could buy not 1, but 4 Bugattis. You could get 80 separate Kanye West private concerts. You could get all 24 bottles of the most expensive whiskey ever sold at auction. To give you an idea, it costs $36,000 per shot of this whiskey. So there's that. You could get LeBron James for the entire season. Actually, you could get LeBron James for 2 seasons. You could get the entire circulating supply of Matic, which I don't even know what that is, but apparently it's a coin that recently pumped 1,000% in 10 days. You could still buy the entire supply. The best part is you will also be able to purchase the entire circulating supply of Pepe coin for $780,000 and airdrop them to all of your peasant friends as the perfect meme. So yeah. Wonderful. Again, I feel for him having spent that, but at the same time, it was a step on the way to Bitcoin continuing to gain legitimacy and have real world utility. And if you're looking to make mistakes like the Bitcoin pizza guy by the name, his name is Laszlo, you can buy Bitcoin, or you can use Bitcoin Lightning Network today to grab yourself a pizza from Domino's. Now, unfortunately, this is only available in the US. Otherwise, I would have partook. But you can find the nearest Domino's and get carryout or delivery using Lightning Network. And this website is ln.pizza. And they've got 5% off all purchases today. I think this is specifically for Pizza Day, but I could be mistaken. Anyways, shout out to you guys for helping facilitate Bitcoin Pizza Day. And I look forward to the day that I look back and think of the sats that I spent on pizza and shake my head. But what I've learned is when you use services like this, replenish your Bitcoin. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a really good day. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell notification icon, because every time this airs for the first time, I'm in the side chat chatting everyone up, so make sure you don't miss it. If you want to help out the show, hit up my website. Check out the sponsor Ledn.io if you're looking for a loan. And if you really like what you saw, you can drop me a Lightning Network tip using Bitcoin at my tippin.me page. If you don't know how to do that, I made a video and I will link that here as well. And with that, I am out. Thank you guys very much again, and I will see you tomorrow for your daily session.